Travis Kelce hit a wall in 2024, just 3 touchdowns, for a guy who practically lived in the end zone, that's not just a stat, it's a red flag. After years of dominating the league, with stacking records and Super Bowl rings, those numbers dip and the whistles began to start. Is Kelce's prime over? But what if that quiet season wasn't the end? It was just the calm before the storm. Because 2025 might be Kelce's year of revenge, a powerful comeback for one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. Get ready, the legend isn't done writing his story. Let's get into it.
All right, let's be real. The 2024 season, especially when you measure it against Kelce's almost legendary standards, was a statistical blip and not the good kind. We're talking 823 receiving yards. Now, for pretty much any other tight end, that's a decent year, right? But for Kelce, the man who reeled off 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons, it felt like a serious drop. And those 3 touchdowns, that's the lowest number he's put up since his rookie year when he barely even played. This wasn't just a small dip, it was big enough to get everyone talking. Pundits were asking if age was finally playing catch-up. Fans were worried that all those tough seasons, deep playoff runs, and his all-out style of play were finally taking their toll. Had the grind finally started to wear him down? Sometimes, just watching him, you could see it. The usual explosive separation wasn't always there. Those super reliable hands had a few surprising drops. The numbers were telling a story, and for a lot of folks, that story was about a slow fade from the top tier he's dominated for so long. When you're used to greatness, anything less feels like a huge shift. And for Kelce, that shift was clear, leaving a big question mark over his 2025 production. But it's this very dip that sets the stage for what could be one heck of a response. One of the biggest reasons to believe in a Kelce bounce back for 2025 comes straight from how he's handled his body this offseason. It wasn't just the usual routine. From what we're hearing, and from Kelce himself, he's made a very deliberate, focused effort to get his physical edge back. He's openly talked about working on things like his running form and other physical tweaks that he admitted he just didn't have time for last year. That's not just talk. It's him saying, okay, I see where I need to improve, and then actually doing something about it. There's been a lot of chatter about his physical shape, especially his weight. Kelce himself has been a bit coy on the exact numbers, but the word is he's leaner, more streamlined. And why? To get back some of that quickness and agility that made him an absolute nightmare for defenses. When an older athlete slims down, it's not for show. It's a smart move to take stress off the joints, move better, and last longer through a tough 17-game season, and hopefully for the Chiefs, another long playoff run. He's reportedly feeling certainly good, and when a veteran like him says that, it means something. Think about it. Over a decade in the NFL trenches, all those hits, cuts, and explosive plays, they add up. This offseason feels like his answer to all that wear and tear. By changing up his training, zeroing in on those physical areas he might have let slide, and maybe playing a bit lighter, Kelce is trying to dial the clock back, not to his mid-20s prime, but to a version of himself that can still be elite, mixing that veteran smarts with a re-energized body. This commitment to peak condition, especially when he knows this could be his last year, shows he's all in on making 2025 a statement. Travis Kelce isn't doing this alone. A huge part of his long-term success, and a big reason to bet on his 2025 comeback, is the consistently top-notch environment the Kansas City Chiefs provide. At the center of it all, his almost mind-reading connection with Patrick Mahomes. This isn't just a good QB-TE pair, they're arguably one of the best ever. Mahomes' knack for keeping plays alive, his improvisational magic, and his absolute trust in Kelce give Kelce a safety net and a steady stream of chances that very few tight ends ever get. Even if Kelce has lost half a step, Mahomes' incredible talent can often make up for it, hitting Kelce in windows that just don't exist for other duos. Mahomes himself has been hyping up a Kelce return to form, mentioning his tight end's fresh energy and focus in off-season work. He even said, if it's his last ride, you would never know, which tells you a lot about Kelce's dedication. An endorsement like that from the best player in the league, who sees Kelce every day, carries a lot of weight. Then you've got the mastermind, head coach Andy Reid. Reid's offensive playbooks are famous for their smarts and how they play to his stars' strengths. You can bet Reid and his crew know all about Kelce's 2024 numbers and are already cooking up ways to get him good matchups, manage his snaps, and really use his incredible football IQ in 2025. The Chiefs didn't just stumble into being Super Bowl regulars. Their skill at tweaking their offense around their key guys is a signature of their dynasty. The whole organization still believes in Kelce, big time. General Manager Brett Veach said Kelce is fired up and ready to play at that elite level everyone expects. This kind of confidence from the inside, from coaches to the front office, just creates a great vibe. When everything and everyone around a player is pushing for for success, and that player still has massive talent and drive, the stage is set for a major rebound. The Chiefs aren't just crossing their fingers for Kelce to bounce back, they're actively making sure it happens. If you think a statistical dip and some whispers about decline wouldn't light a fire under a competitor like Travis Kelce, well, you don't know Travis Kelce. That 2024 season, especially how it ended and his personal numbers, seems to have seriously fueled him up. He's been pretty open about his inner drive, saying things like winning a title is the only acceptable result this year, and that he's setting the bar even higher for himself, not just as a target, but as a leader. That doesn't sound like a player winding down. That sounds like someone with unfinished business, someone ready to restake his claim. There's also good old professional pride. Kelce has consistently played at a Hall of Fame level. Last season was different. For a guy like him, the urge to prove that 2024 was a fluke, not the new normal, is a huge motivator. He's not just playing for another ring. He's playing to cement his legacy, to show everyone he can still be that guy when it matters most. Beyond just wanting to dominate on the field, Kelce has also talked about a new focus on his mental game. He mentioned taking some time out of the spotlight, a chance to recharge and come back with a clearer head and stronger focus. In the crazy, high-pressure world of pro sports, especially for someone as famous as Kelce, that mental reset can be just as important as physical training. It helps you reevaluate your goals, sharpen your focus, and reignite that fire that makes you great. On top of that, his decision to come back for another season was apparently based on whether he felt he could give his all to the team. He wasn't going to return just for a paycheck or to go through the motions. His being back means he truly believes he can still play at a high level. This mix of inner motivation, driven by wanting to make up for last season, and a smart approach to his mental game gives him a really strong psychological base for a bounce-back year. He's not just physically ready, he's mentally locked in. While most of what makes an athlete great happens on the field or in the gym, you can't ignore how much a stable and supportive life off the field matters. For Travis Kelce, this seems to be another thing going his way for a 2025 rebound. His high-profile relationship with Taylor Swift has been talked about a ton, and from everything we hear, it seems to be a really positive source of personal happiness and support for him. Reports suggest Swift has been very encouraging, maybe even playing a part in his decision to come back and end his career on a high note, and she's apparently planning to be at Chiefs games in 2025. It's easy to get sidetracked by the celebrity of it all, but the main thing here is having a supportive partner who gets the pressure and demands of being an elite performer. That kind of positive backup from your personal life can really help an athlete be more focused, happier, and ultimately better at their job. A happy player is often a more productive player. When things off the field are a source of strength instead of stress, it frees up an athlete to put more mental and emotional energy into their sport. The stability and encouragement Kelce is reportedly getting in his personal life can only be a good thing for his mindset and overall well-being. Now, this isn't to say it's the reason he'll suddenly have more catches or touchdowns, but it's definitely part of the bigger picture of a player who's in a good spot, mentally and emotionally, as he heads into a really important season. This positive off-field vibe, mixed with his renewed physical and mental game prep, creates a really good mix for a strong 2025.
Now you may be thinking, what about his age? And that's fair. Travis Kelce will be 36 during the 2025 NFL season. In a league that loves youth and speed, and being on the wrong side of 35, especially playing a tough position like tight end, is definitely something to consider. All those hits and miles from 12 NFL seasons start to add up. It's only natural to wonder if he can really get back that explosive power he had in his prime.
Some experts have noted he might not be quite as consistently explosive as he was 5 years ago. That's a reasonable point for almost any player in their mid-30s. The burst might not be exactly the same, but this is where Kelce's other strengths really kick in, strengths that can make up for the natural aging process. His football IQ is absolutely off the charts. His ability to read defenses, find the open spots in zones, and adjust his routes on the fly are skills he's sharpened over many years. Those things don't fade with age. If anything, they get better. And then there's that famous connection with Patrick Mahomes we talked about. It's so good that it often goes beyond just physical ability. They're on a different wavelength, where they just know what the other is going to do, allowing them to make plays others can't. When a play breaks down, Mahomes knows where Kelce will be, and Kelce knows how to get open. That kind of partnership can cover up any small drop in pure athleticism. Plus, his new conditioning plan is specifically aimed at tackling these age-related issues. He's not training like he's 25, he's training smarter, focusing on keeping the agility and quickness that are key to his game, even if his top speed isn't breaking records. So, while the worries about age and mileage are definitely valid, they don't cancel out the strong arguments for his renewed physical state, his incredible experience, his unique bond with his quarterback, and that burning desire to win. He might not be the 2018 version of Kelce, but the 2025 version is looking like he'll be a very effective and motivated underrated player. So, when you look at the whole picture for Travis Kelce going into 2025, the idea that he's just going to fade away starts to look pretty shaky. Instead, there's a really strong case for a major bounce back. We've seen a player who saw his own high standards slip a bit, and rather than just giving in to father time, has hit the offseason with serious energy. His dedication to rebuilding his body, slimming down for quickness, and fine-tuning his game shows how committed he still is. Add to that physical refresh the solid support and smarts of the Kansas City Chiefs, from Patrick Mahomes' one-of-a-kind connection and Andy Reid's offensive genius to the front office truly believing in him. This isn't just any team, it's a powerhouse built to get the best out of its stars. And then there's that fire in Kelce himself. Fueled by last season's letdown and wanting to seal his legacy, he seems more motivated than ever. He's not just saying the right things, he's putting in the work, physically and mentally, to back it up. Even the stability and good vibes from his personal life seem set up to help him have a focused and determined year. Sure, age is always a factor, but Kelce's football smarts, his amazing chemistry with Mahomes, and his targeted training are strong answers to that. The guy who spent his career blowing past expectations and setting new standards for tight ends looks ready to write another incredible chapter. Expect a Travis Kelce in 2025, who's not just super motivated and perfectly prepared, but also incredibly effective, reminding the entire league that legends don't just fade away, they reload.
All right, now it's your turn. Do you think Travis Kelce will unleash a revenge tour in 2025 and remind the league who's boss? Or is this the beginning of the final chapter for one of the greatest tight ends ever? Drop your hottest takes in the comments. Let's hear your prediction for Travis Kelce in 2025. Also, like this video if you believe in the bounce back, and subscribe to Revenge Route for more players seeking out revenge.